Good morning, Emerson. Today is Thursday, December 5th. We are no longer the Ron Burgundy School of Communication, but we have the full recap on the day that was.
And later, Madelyn Abry is back to prepare us for sweater weather. She's bringing in the best of this year's holiday styles.
I'm Anthony Chase.
And I'm Maggie Morlath. Welcome to Good Morning, Emerson. On the show today, we've got a special guest from the Improv Asylum who's going to be telling us about their 24-hour event that is going on this weekend.
I have no idea how that can be made possible, but only at Improv Asylum could they possibly pull something off that crazy.
That's right.
But something else was pulled off in the sports world that is kind of shaking things up. It's a Boston, New York crazy deal, and Mike Cantalupo is going to have the recap. Let's just say there's going to be a lot of sad teenage girls in the Boston area.
That's right. Trade or traitor. Hard to say. But later in the show, we'll be talking about some trouble that Chris Brown has been stirring up. What else is new? But Chris Brown has gotten into quite a bit of a tiff with Frank Ocean's posse.
Yeah, so. I heard there's going to be a fine there, but Christian Mudrick will have your report in the entertainment section. But we have a great show for you today.
That's right. We have a very entertaining show. But first, let's go to Brittany Gervais with your news.
Thanks, guys, and good morning. The 911 calls from the Newtown school shootings were released yesterday. On December 14th, 2012, Adam Lanza shot 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook. At the end of the 11-minute rampage, Lanza shot and killed himself. The first 911 calls were made at 9:30 that morning. A Connecticut judge ruled last week that the calls be made public because of the level of interest in them. However, family members of the victims and the prosecutor were against making these calls public. A truck carrying dangerous radioactive material was missing in Mexico and was later found last night. Authorities are saying it was taken by armed robbers Monday. The truck was carrying radioactive material known as cobalt-60 to a waste storage site when the incident occurred. Mexican authorities say they found the stolen truck and its cargo, but they can't be sure any of it was stolen. Experts say cobalt-60 is an ingredient used to make dirty bombs. Officials say they suspect the thieves had no idea what the truck was carrying. Detroit will become the largest U.S. city to file for bankruptcy. A federal judge approved the filing Tuesday, calling it a fresh start for Detroit. This allows the city to slash an estimated $18 million in debt, including reducing pension and retirement payments for retired city workers. Detroit is a struggling city, though. 40% of their streetlights do not work, and 78,000 abandoned buildings litter the city. The case is also being watched by art lovers, though. Residents fear the city will be forced to sell its artwork from the Detroit Institute of Arts. The pieces of art are valued between $500 and $800 million. The engineer in the commuter rail train derailment caught himself falling asleep moments before the crash. 46-year-old William Rockefeller had just come off the night shift and was 2 days into the 5-day work week. Rockefeller says he accepts responsibility for the crash, saying he was in a daze at the controls. However, the National Transportation Safety Board says it's too soon to say whether or not the accident was caused by human error. This comes after it was discovered the train was going 3 times the speed limit at 82 miles per hour. That's all the news I have for you today. Back to you, Maggie and Anthony.
Brittany, my question for you is, I'm sure journalists appreciate the release of the 911 tapes of the Sandy Hook tragedy, but do you believe that it was an overall good idea?
Yeah, well, the big problem with this is that it forces the families of the victims to relive this day over and over and over again, whether they like it or not. So when dealing with these tapes, the media has to be really careful about it because it is a sensitive issue. They can't just keep replaying the tapes over and over and over again. So while I do think that it's the public's right to know this kind of information, it's definitely a difficult decision.
Thank you, Brittany. Well, there are plenty of serious stories to discuss, but we wouldn't be doing our job as credible journalists if we didn't talk about that Ron Burgundy event yesterday.
That's right. Anthony and I actually got a chance to speak to the legend himself. So Anthony and I don't always get along. He's never called me a dirty pirate hooker, but we wanted to know if you have any advice for how a male anchor and a female anchor can get together and
on a professional level.
Strictly professional?
Most of the time.
Okay.
98% of the time.
Is there something we need to know about here? What's going on? At the end of the day, if there is a real juicy story, you simply have to have a fist fight to figure out who's going to report it.
Thank you, Mr. Burgundy.
The young lady would kick your butt.
Probably.
He said today that Maggie could beat me up if she wanted to. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I've seen that girl fight, and she can totally take you down.
Ron Burgundy came up and gave you a huge bear hug at the beginning. What did his tears taste like?
They were sweeter than life itself.
I'm literally in a glass case of emotion right now.
It's a great feeling for all of us. It gives us hope to know that these people actually come to our school, and like I mentioned earlier, they're people just like us, and he was once in our shoes, and look where he is now.
The stories are important, the research and the facts, but what's really important is how good you look.
How many people can say that Ron Burgundy came to their school, and they went to the Ron Burgundy School of Communications?
So the School of Communication may only be named after Ron Burgundy for one day, but I can assure you that Emerson will forever be keeping it classy.
That was just such an awesome day for everybody that attended the press conference. I know lots of students got to watch the live stream on their laptops or on the Emerson channel. But Maggie, what was it like for you to actually be there and see Ron Burgundy in the flesh?
I think it was an awesome experience as a journalism student to be there and witness this real-life press conference and actually be able to take part in it and ask him a question, and that answer he gave back to us was just fabulous.
I know. For me, that was awesome because, I grew up watching this movie. The first one came out 10 years ago. I was in junior high. I used to do the morning announcements at my junior high school, and I used to say, "You stay classy, Tid Tasquith Junior High School." So to be able to actually talk to Ron Burgundy, that was something that I could have never imagined.
Right.
It's one thing to see Will Ferrell, but to see Ron Burgundy, it's pretty fun.
The first movie coming out over 10 years ago, and now the second movie, this is really a movie franchise that our generation has grown up with. So I think it's awesome to finally see Will Ferrell here at Emerson.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing because when he introduced the movie last night, I was in the theater that he was in, and he came as Will Ferrell, which was kind of interesting because he had been in character all day long.
Yeah, it was nuts to see that juxtaposition because it was so impressive that he stayed true to his character all through the press conference. He was truly Ron Burgundy, and then last night he was himself, getting a little gory there I saw.
Yeah, but it was really cool to see him as Will Ferrell. I think he really connected with the Emerson students. He told us how awesome we were for being there, and he was really sincere about it. He was happy that we were there to support the movie, and he's just really a down-to-earth guy, and it's really funny to see he's not Ron Burgundy in real life. He's not this stuck-up kind of chauvinistic guy, which was really fun to see too.
That's right, and you were at the early screening last night. So can you tell us a little bit about the movie? Do you think it lived up to the hype?
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away because it hasn't even come out yet, but lots of Emerson students have seen it. I thought it was great. Obviously, nothing will compare to the first one, I just have to say right now, but they did a great job, kind of reprising a lot of old roles, and the cameos were incredible. Just see it for the cameos, if nothing else.
I know I will.
Well, it was an overall great day for the Emerson community.
The weather was actually pretty perfect too, so let's go to Mal for more on this week's forecast.
Good morning, Anthony and Maggie. I'm sad to report that nice weather that we had earlier this week is over. Right now it's cloudy and 45 degrees. However, it will continue to warm up for the rest of the day. Around noon, temperatures will be around 50 degrees with wind speeds from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Because of a warm, moist air coming from the west that is moving towards Boston, you can expect wind and rain, but that rain will be more likely by the end of the day. From 3 to 9 p.m. tonight, temperatures will level off at about 53 degrees. On and off rain throughout the afternoon and evening. Showers overnight with a low of 51 degrees. And keep your rain gear out for tomorrow. Showers the entire day. Temperatures will gradually cool down starting in the morning. 52 degrees by 9 a.m. and by 3 p.m. it will only be 49, so not too much of a change. After that, dropping down to 41 during the evening, and that's when the rain will let up, but we still might get some on Saturday. Let's take a look now at your weekend weather forecast. Luckily, there's less and less of a chance of rain as Saturday goes on. In the morning, 37 degrees around 9 a.m., staying relatively the same temperature the entire day, peaking at 39 degrees by noon. And after that, those clouds will have moved out, mostly sunny and clear skies for the rest of the day, low of 31 at night. On Sunday, very cold out, high of just 34 degrees, mostly cloudy skies over Boston, and after sunset at 4:11, those clouds might bring us some snow, especially overnight, low of 30 degrees, so hopefully that snow won't be able to stick. Next week, Monday, more rain coming our way, 40% chance of rain and hail in the afternoon, high of 43, low of 33. And that's your local weather update. I'm Mal Meyer. Back over to you, Maggie.
Thank you, Mal. Now we have to take a quick break, but we'll be keeping you entertained with the Improv Asylum when we come back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. If you didn't get enough laughs out of Ron Burgundy, well, maybe we might have something that'll get you going.
The Improv Asylum will be holding a 24-hour-long improv event called No Rest for the Wicked Funny. Host and producer Mike Anastasia is here to tell us more.
Hey, Mike, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
24 hours.
Yes.
Are you hosting all 24 hours?
I am. Yeah, this is the 9th time I've done this, and it is the longest night of any improviser's career. We get on stage at 8 o'clock on Friday and go until 8 o'clock on Saturday. So it's
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fun. It's grueling, but it's a blast every year. We have such a great time.
What about for the audience? Should you come like the first 2 hours, or what if you just come for the 23rd hour? Are you still going to have a good time?
I usually suggest coming at the beginning and then seeing with a morbid curiosity what it turns into, because if you just showed up at hour 23, you'd be like, why is this so weird? Whereas if you watch 10 people slowly descend into madness, it's kind of a fun journey to see. But you can come at any point during the show. We sell tickets throughout the whole thing, so we've had a lot of people finish up at a bar at 3 in the morning and then come by, check out the show for a few hours. We had just some random nuns came in one morning at 5, and it was just like, oh, there's some nuns. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So 24 hours is a long time, but I know that the proceeds are going to charity. Globe Santa, I believe?
Exactly. Globe Santa is it's a wonderful organization put on by the Boston Globe. They've been doing this for over 50 years. They provide presents for children in need during the holidays. And for us, the magic number is 40. When we hit $40, that's a family that receives presents. And so last year we raised about $37,000 in one night. So hopefully we're trying to hit in that ballpark again, just to get as many kids taken care of as we can.
That's awesome. Great cause. And I hear you guys are going all out too. You have some celebrity guests and an auction.
Yes, we have some great people from Radio BDC are coming in. We have Adam 12 is going to be kicking off the show, which we're very excited about. And then throughout the course of the night, Tony V is going to be doing some stand-up for us. David Eigenberg from Chicago Fire, formerly from Sex and the City, is going to be Skyping in. He's one of our recurring guests who comes every year. And then there's usually a couple surprise random people. Stephen Wright showed up and just did some stand-up last year with us. So we're kind of hoping we'll have another little surprise like that.
I'm sure you guys appreciate that too when a celebrity shows up to spell some of the...
Absolutely. Yeah, just like, oh, let's just do some stuff. Like, hi, you're Stephen Wright. Awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great time.
Can you tell us about tickets?
Sure. They're $20 as a suggested donation, and you can get them online or you can buy them at the door. We pretty much don't sell out. I mean, the beginning of the show at 8 o'clock on Friday, it's a little bit busy, but if you want to come in at any time, for the most part, we'll figure out a way to get you in, and that gets you a bracelet, so you can come and go as much as you want. If you want to skip a few hours and then come back and see how it's gone, we can do that.
Sounds good, Mike. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Sounds like an awesome show. Well, there's some big names in comedy. Here's a few more names: Wade Boggs, Johnny Damon, Roger Clemens, and of course Babe Ruth, all Red Sox who were traded to the Yankees.
Boston fans call them traitors. Yankee fans may be calling them heroes. Now Mike has another one. Here he is with your sports.
Bow tie days are the best days. Well, it may have not been a real surprise to Red Sox Nation, but it still must sting. Outfielder Jacoby Ellsbury, who was a free agent going into this offseason, has signed with the darn New York Yankees. It's Johnny Damon all over again. The deal is reportedly worth $153 million over 7 years, which is only $20 million less than the deal GME made with Anthony Chase to host the show. The Red Sox reportedly were willing to offer Ellsbury a 6-year, $100 million deal, but the men in pinstripes once again outbid the Sox. Ellsbury hit .298 and stole 52 bases in 2013. Now the Celtics, maybe they need to start looking into making some deals. Can Allen Iverson come out of retirement? Tuesday night, they took on one of the NBA's worst teams, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks came into this game only winning 3 games all year. Jared Sullinger puts up an air ball, but look at Avery Bradley. In one motion, takes it and shoots it from behind the basket. Take a look at this again. That was a buzzer beater to top it all off. Celtics up 48-41 at the half. Now the Bucks coming back a little bit. Here's O.J. Mayo. He drains a 3. Bucks down only 2, but late in the game, Celts pull away here a little bit. Up 3. First, Jordan Crawford with the 3, and then Avery Bradley follows suit with a 3 of his own. Crawford had 25 points. Celtics win 108-100. Now, the Bruins are the only major Boston sports team to be playing tonight when they take on the Canadiens. The Bees have won 2 straight and are currently in first place in the Atlantic Division thanks to stellar defense and goaltending. They're ranked 7th in the league in penalty kills and are the league's best in goals against. They're only giving up 2 goals per game. Rasek is an early contender for the Vizinza Award. He's been lights out. Now, the Celtics return tomorrow night, 7:30 against the Denver Nuggets in the Garden. The Nuggets are 11-6 and 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Patriots now, on the other hand, return to action against the Browns on Sunday. They have a chance to all but clinch the division. They'll be at home in Gillette. Now let's see what the wins look like this week. Now do you remember when Ron Burgundy compared me to a beautiful bald eagle? Because I do. Back to you guys.
Mike, you are beautiful, but the Boston Celtics, not so beautiful. But you know, I was at that Bucks game, and they didn't look bad against their own division. So do you see any changes coming in the near future?
They're getting better, I think. I mean, Brad Stevens was saying, sure, we're in first place right now, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But being in first place is a good little buffer to have. I think that the Celtics should ride with the players that they have, the coaches that they have for a little bit longer.
Thank you, Mike. So Mike put together a nice little CNN report yesterday about the Ron Burgundy visit. You guys should definitely check that out. And of course, Anthony and I did our share of entertainment reporting at the Burgundy press conference.
But now it's time to go to our real resident entertainment correspondent, Christian Mudrick. Christian, what do you have for us today?
Thanks, guys. Chris Brown just got slapped, wink, with a $3 million lawsuit from Frank Ocean's cousin. Last January, Chris Brown and his entourage got into a scuffle with Frank Ocean's posse outside a major LA recording studio. Apparently, Ocean's lesser able-bodied cousin, Shakir Duarte, couldn't handle the heat and is now suing Brown for damages. That's $1 million for pain, suffering, and punitive damages, $1 million for emotional distress, and $1 million for inconvenience, plus an extra $60,000 for medical expenses. Does that mean I get to sue all the people smoking outside of LB? It's pretty inconvenient, and you know what? I think I feel a tickle in my throat. Someone call my lawyer. The Australian mayor Tom Tate has served Justin Bieber an ultimatum for vandalizing a hotel last week. Tate recorded a video after Bieber was caught graffitiing a hotel, telling Bieber to fly back to Australia and clean off the spray paint or sing for the mayor at the annual Christmas Carol event on December 7th. Bieber left a dozen empty cans of spray paint and 3 walls tagged property at the Australian hotel. Pop princess Justin Bieber better clean up, wink, his act before the Australian government cracks down on his tomfoolery. Charlie Sheen was seen making out with a new lady in Cabo over the Thanksgiving weekend. Allegedly, the lady in the pictures is porn star Brett Rossi, who has starred in such classics as Bondage, Tongue Bath, and She Loves My Big Breasts, too. Rossi is known for her girl-on-girl work for Penthouse, but has taken a break to swap some spit with Sheen in Mexico. Sheen apparently took her to Cabo for Thanksgiving after knowing her for only a month. Way to keep it classy, Charlie. Everyone's favorite nightmares have been signed on to become a feature film. Alvin Schwartz's novellas, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, will be adapted into a feature film by the same writers who wrote Saw. According to CBS Films, the studio who accepted the pitch, the movie will be centered around a group of offbeat misfits who have to defend their town from several nightmares that become reality. Stephen Gamble's illustrations really aided in the success and terror of the books, and they will hopefully be incorporated into the movie somehow. That's all the juicy gossip I have for you today. Back to you guys on the couch.
So, Christian, how do you think Chris Brown will react to this lawsuit?
Well, he actually already has reacted with a counter-sue. He's suing Duarte for $3 million. So we're actually just going to have to sit tight and watch these two legally catfight.
All right, thanks, Christian. You always have the best stories, but now it's time for another quick commercial break.
When we come back, fashion correspondent Madelyn Abry will be showing us how to keep it cute, but also keep warm this winter season.
Stay with us.
And welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. Sweater weather is upon us.
That's right, and Madelyn Abry did some sweater shopping at an Emerson favorite, the Garment District. Madelyn?
Now that the calendar is turned to December, we are officially in winter, or as I like to call it, sweater weather. And where better to go to get a warm, cuddly sweater than the Garment District?
December is my favorite fashion month. That's because it's all about sweaters. Comfy sweaters, cozy sweaters, and my favorite, Christmas sweaters. I'm here at the Garment District, a popular thrift store in Cambridge, where we're checking out their incredible selection of clothes. They break up the clothes by brand, decade, style, even size. They have accessories, shoes, even costumes. I love thrifted clothing because it's always good quality, it's inexpensive, and it has a story behind it. My advice to someone who hasn't gone thrift shopping before is try it out. They have a huge inventory. The people are so nice, and you never know what you might find. It's almost impossible not to have a good time while you're here. I'm gonna head back to the studio, where we'll talk about how to stay warm over those sweaters.
I loved going to the Garment District. I actually was wearing a sweater in the segment that I bought at the store. So we've looked at so many sweaters, but how do you stay warm when you're outside in the winter? You need something to go over those sweaters. So today I brought in some great outerwear, some coats to show you guys for what's the best outerwear for every occasion.
Now, I've seen these around. I love these Canada Goose jackets. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, I'm personally always cold, so this is my best friend. This is a parka made by Canada Goose. It's made for the Arctic. It has fur on the hood to keep the wind and the cold away from your face, and it goes down to about knee length, so your legs will always be warm. I don't have to worry about layering. I can wear skirts. It's definitely, it's like, I like to say it's just a wall of warmth. Like, it keeps me so warm. I love this coat. It's a little bit of a pricier option, but it definitely gets the job done.
Well, I feel like something like this too, it's a great investment. It's great quality and you'll use it over the winter time, so you're gonna have this for years.
Right, so if we want something a little bit less expensive, what's another option that we can go to?
Yeah, and also just so you know, Canada Goose has a huge selection of coats for men and women. So
Okay,
Anthony,
that's good.
if you like this coat, you should
Something
save
to
up.
save up
Check it
for.
out. Exactly. So I also brought in this pea coat. This is a little bit of a different kind of style. It's for those warmer winter days. This is the part where I pretend to know something about the weather. So when the weather reaches, the 40s or 50s, pairing it with this kind of coat and a warm pair of gloves, it'll definitely keep you warm.
I wear my green pea coat all the time, and that's definitely a staple in my wardrobe.
Yes, and this is a neutral color. You can wear it with a lot of things. And the toggles, I love the toggles on this. Great accessory.
Great.
It also has a a hood that is detachable that you can put on. So if it's raining or it's snowing, it'll keep you dry.
So that's great for when it's raining, but I know that this jacket isn't necessarily weatherproof. Over here we've got something though.
Exactly. This is our all-weather kind of jacket. This is a trench coat. I love trench coats because they're a thin style, so that you can put, those heavy sweaters underneath that we were seeing in the segment.
Yes.
It's weather resistant, so the rain and the snow is just going to kind of fall off of it.
The best time to wear a striped trench coat
is all the time.
because this material is actually awesome. I would get one of these if it wasn't,
Yeah, exactly. And it's also a
feminine.
great way to incorporate color into your outerwear. These are some great colors, but you're so right, Anthony. The only thing that we haven't talked about is accessories. I love to add accessories, just to keep yourself, as I said,
let's
always
see what we
cold.
have
I need those gloves, hats. This is a great knit hat that you can put on. But sometimes the ladies don't want to mess up their hair. So I brought in another headband. This is
like
a knit
that one.
headband.
So cute.
It works as an ear warmer, and it's not going to give you that hat hair that, us ladies, we don't want that.
I could see myself wearing something like this too. This is a little bit more masculine.
Yeah, this is something I brought in to show for the men. This is these are ear warmers that go around the back of your head. It's also another option for if you don't want to wear those, get your hair messed up.
If I'm gonna take the time to take a shower and comb my hair, I don't want to mess this up, you know?
So I have a little bit of a surprise for you guys.
Oh, surprises.
Because it's my last time on the show, I went to the Garment District, and they have Christmas sweaters at the Garment District, and I bought some for you guys so that you can wear them on the Christmas.
Too
Anthony,
nice.
this is your Christmas
I'm gonna put
vest.
it on right now.
Nice I love this vest.
Is great.
And Maggie, I picked out a special one for you. It has all kinds of stuff on it.
I really had no idea this was going to happen.
Yes, I wanted to give you guys something just so you know, to show how much I love GME and you know, for you guys to wear this holiday season.
My grandmother is really going to appreciate this.
Yeah, and if you have any ugly sweater parties or ugly Christmas sweater parties, definitely these will go great.
I love Christmas.
I don't like the term ugly. I think this is awesome.
I was gonna say, I think these are pretty nifty. So that's all we have time for today.
But tune in on Wednesday for our grand finale episode of GME. We've got plenty in store for you guys. Have a great weekend.